What happens when your star player says something that makes the whole team look shaken? That's exactly what just happened. One post, just a few words, and suddenly the locker room feels like it's under fire. Fans are whispering, reporters are digging, and the question hanging in the air is simple. Is this team breaking from the inside? This wasn't just a random message on social media. It hit right when the offense already looked flat, the ball movement was slow, and the energy on the floor felt dead. So when the star spoke out in his own way, it didn't feel like coincidence. It felt like a signal, a warning. And that's why everybody's paying attention. Now the spotlight is brighter than ever. People want to know, is this only frustration after a bad night, or is it the start of something bigger? Because if it's bigger, it could change everything for this season. Smash that like button and subscribe for more NFL talk. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading them all. It started with a verse, a single line that looked harmless to some but explosive to others. The star's choice of words wasn't about stats or highlights. It was deeper, and it left everyone asking who the message was really meant for. Fans connected the dots fast, pointing fingers at the coaching staff and fueling a storm of speculation that spread across the league in minutes. The reaction wasn't small. Overnight, talk shows, podcasts, and social feeds were filled with theories. Some said it was frustration with play calls. Others believed it was a shot at the system itself. The mystery gave the post even more power, because the less he explained, the louder the noise became. It was like throwing a spark in a room already full of gasoline. And this is where the tension cuts sharp. The team can ignore outside chatter for only so long, but when your star sends out a signal like that, it forces questions that can't be dodged. Was it emotion? Was it intent? Or was it a message to the locker room itself? That's the fire surrounding this cryptic signal. The moment questions hit the press room, the coaches had no choice but to answer. Cameras rolled, mics were live, and the focus was locked on whether there was real tension with their star. The offensive coordinator insisted the relationship was strong, brushing off the noise as outside chatter. It was calm words in a storm, but the delivery left fans wondering if everything was truly fine behind closed doors. Then came the head coach, making it clear that his star wasn't going anywhere. Loyalty, commitment, and trust, those were the words he repeated, trying to shut down any talk of trade or unrest. On the surface, it sounded like unity, but for some, it felt more like damage control than truth. The tone was measured, the answers controlled, but the pressure was obvious. Finally, the star himself stepped forward, apologizing for the message, but also doubling down on his drive to carry the team. It was part admission, part challenge, telling everyone he wants the ball when the game is on the line. The apology calmed the fire a little, but the echo of his words kept the story alive. Two stars, two completely different ways of handling pressure. One shows his fire openly, demanding the ball and taking on the weight of the moment. The other stays silent, letting his game speak while never showing frustration in public. Together, they share the floor, but their approaches tell two very different stories. The contrast is striking. While one's emotions spill out for everyone to see, the other simply locks in and keeps grinding through every possession. Fans respect both, but the difference is impossible to ignore. One is the spark that could ignite a comeback. The other is the steady hand that keeps everything stable. That balance is both a strength and a test. It shows the team has leaders in more than one form, but it also raises the question of which style will guide them through the toughest moments. In a season already clouded with noise, that answer might shape how far this group can really go. The numbers tell the story. The offense has slipped to the bottom of the league charts, and every possession feels heavier than the last. Empty trips down the floor, wasted chances, and cold stretches are stacking up in a way that no contender can afford. What used to look sharp now feels out of rhythm, and that's where the real concern begins. It isn't just about missed shots. The system itself looks predictable, with opponents reading plays before they even unfold. Fans see that hesitation, players feel the weight, and the spark that once drove this unit seems to be fading fast. For a group built on speed and power, moving this slow is a red flag. And yet, flashes of brilliance still appear. Short runs where the ball moves, shots fall, and everything clicks. But those bursts vanish just as quickly as they come. That inconsistency is the danger. Without fixing it, the offense risks dragging the whole season down before it ever takes off. Every great team is built on its foundation, and right now that foundation is showing cracks. The front line that once set the tone is no longer holding steady. Injuries have slowed key players, and the numbers reveal a drop that cannot be hidden. When the wall in front begins to break, everything behind it feels the pressure. What makes this slight more alarming is how quickly it's happened. Games that once leaned on strength in the paint now expose gaps that opponents attack with ease. The battles under the rim, the screens, the protection, all of it looks weaker, leaving the offense without the support it once counted on. The ripple effect is clear. With the inside game fading, the outside shots grow harder, the flow breaks down, and the team loses its safety net. For a group built to dominate both ends of the floor, watching that edge slip away is the clearest warning yet. If the wall doesn't hold, the season may tilt in the wrong direction. The injury list keeps growing, and each name added changes the picture. Key players are fighting through pain, some are sidelined, and others are trying to come back too soon. What was once a deep roster now feels thinner by the day, and every update brings another layer of concern. The impact is visible on both ends of the floor. Energy dips when leaders are out, rotations shrink, and young players are thrown into roles they weren't expected to carry this early. Some step up, but the uncertainty is impossible to ignore. Every substitution now feels like a gamble. This storm doesn't just test talent, it tests endurance. Can the team survive weeks of patching holes, or will the weight of these losses drag them under? The answer will decide whether they can stay afloat or get buried before the season even reaches its peak. Competition inside the roster is now as intense as any game on the schedule. Young talent has forced its way into the spotlight while veterans fight to reclaim their ground. Each practice feels like an audition, and every decision about who starts or who sits carries long-term weight. These battles aren't simple. Choosing between a rookie who is shining and a proven leader returning from injury creates pressure no coach wants to face, but it's a decision that cannot be delayed. The outcome will shape chemistry, rotations, and even the locker room dynamic. One wrong call could split momentum right down the middle. That's why all eyes are locked on how these choices unfold. Fans debate, analysts speculate, and the team itself waits to see who earns the trust when it matters most. In a season already full of noise, these roster battles could be the turning point that defines whether this story ends in triumph or collapse. The noise around this team isn't just about one post anymore. It's about trust, leadership, and whether the locker room can survive the pressure. A star calling for more responsibility, coaches trying to calm the storm, and teammates caught in the middle. This is no small story. It's the kind of drama that can either break a season or push a group to lock in tighter than ever before. The struggles on offense, the cracks on the front line, and the growing risk of injuries make this even more critical. Every game feels like a test, and every lineup choice could decide the direction of the year. With rookies forcing their way into the spotlight and veterans battling to return, the balance of the roster hangs in the air. The next moves will decide if this team rises back up or slips further into doubt. So now it's your turn. Do you think the stars should get more control, or do the coaches need to stand firm? Should the rookies keep their spots, or is it time to lean back on experience? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you believe this team can still turn it around, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the full story as it unfolds.